WHPR TV is now on demand. Catch us when you want, how you want, where you want. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Watch your favorite TV shows on demand. And be sure to download the WHPR app. We're now on demand at your demand. WHPR TV Detroit On Demand.com, a Watkins Broadcasting Company.
African Ease. We have an array of products to assist you in all your beauty or body needs. Do you want curly, soft, beautiful hair? Well, try our relaxer line, designed to leave your hair soft, silky, and full of body. Or would you like beautiful, straight, shiny, long-lasting hair? Well, try our cherry or extreme hold spritz with our cream shine. It's guaranteed to give you that look you want. How about dry, achy feet or legs that you can't seem to keep moisturized? Well, try our African Shea Butter Foot Lotion. We have many products to help you with all phases of your beauty and body needs. For a full list of all our products, please visit our website at www.aeasysilk.com or call us at 313-277-2319.
Lord, I'm just sitting here looking over my life, Lord. Let me take inventory. Can I take it? Can I take it? 'Cause I know you, I know you, I know you've been good to me, Lord.
Good morning. This is the D Hill Morning Show at WHPR TV 33, Comcast 90, and my name is Agnes Hitchcock. And I am pleased to be here with you this morning. It's a good morning. It's a little bit chilly outside, but it's still a good morning. And I'm certainly glad to be here with you and appreciate the opportunity that J.D. Hill gives me to come in and talk to you from time to time. And today feels like a good day to me. You can see that I didn't bring the book, that I'm just here bare. And what I want to talk about this morning is 2 or 3 topics, and I think they tie in together somewhat. I want to talk about a person feeling like they have no value, that you don't deserve anything, that there is no hope for you. And another thing I want to talk about is credibility. Credibility. I want to talk about that. And I want to tie sacrifice into that. So this morning when I was thinking, I was like, I'm being a preacher today. I'm going to pull a church move. I'm pulling a minister move. That's what I'm going to do. So those are the 3 things that I want to sort of talk about a little bit. But first of all, I'm looking for somebody. I haven't seen Khaled and Janetta. I haven't heard from Khaled and Janetta. No one mentions Khaled and Janetta. So if Khaled and Janetta are out in the listening audience, I'd just like to know how they're doing. The phone number that you can reach me at when I'm not on the air is 874-2792. 874-2792. And there's another lady who came to the Blackinaw Island conference, and she couldn't stay because it was her birthday and somebody was taking her out. She brought a card and she gave it to Ikarima. Ikarima made sure that the card got to my daughter, and my daughter made sure that the card got to me. However, what happened is when my daughter handed me the card and says, "A lady sent you this. She can't stay. She's going out for a celebration," I tried to run down to the edge of the driveway to see if I could, catch you, and I wasn't able to catch up with you. Somehow in whatever was going on, I laid the card down. I did not get a chance to read it. I did not get a chance to open it. It was sealed when they handed it to me. So would you please call me so that I can know who sent me the card? That taken care of, this thing that I say value. Somehow or another, we've been convinced, a lot of people in our community have been convinced that they have no value, that we don't deserve anything. We don't deserve good schools. We don't deserve housing. We don't deserve transportation. We don't deserve anything good. So we accept that. When you accept that you have no value, it leaves you with no hope. You have no hope, and you have nothing to lose. When you have nothing to lose, your behavior becomes erratic. And that could account for some of the devastation in our neighborhoods, not just with the gunfire, not with the killing, but in the way that we look at ourselves. We look at ourselves and say, we have no value. We've let people convince us that, I've said it before, that we live in an S-hole, that Detroit is the pits, that there's nothing good in Detroit and nothing good to come out of Detroit. We let people convince us that Cobo Hall was a pit, and that the only way that Cobo Hall had any value is it be taken from the control of the people in the city of Detroit. Belle Isle, in spite of the fact that Belle Isle was always in the city of Detroit's budget, somehow it was not maintained. When the citizens of the city of Detroit was in control of Belle Isle, it had no value. The school center building, the one that was on Woodward, the McAfee building, that insurance company, it was McAfee Insurance Company, McAfee family, whatever, gave that building to Detroit Public Schools. They gave that building to Detroit Public Schools. However, it had no value. It was, in turn, because it had no value, it was given to Wayne State University. Given so whatever. But apparently there was little value in it. The value in the school was in the building was so little that when it was given up, Detroit Public Schools went to 3 separate buildings down in the New Center area. Paid rent, leases, more money than the upkeep on the McAfee building probably would have cost. We were convinced that it was Detroit and it had no value. The children's summer camp, well, it had no value for us because the city of Detroit somehow transferred that camp to the Arab community. They found value in it. It had value for them, but not for us. Nothing that we have in the city of Detroit for us, we were convinced it had no value. There was no reason for us to resist it or to make any sacrifice. So we've convinced that we have no value, and whatever it is that we have is of no value. So I want to tie that in to maybe how I think we got here by talking about credibility. Some credibility. That means that you can believe in me because what I said I would do. You've seen me do, not just me, but anybody else. What you just believe, you believe and you see that there's credibility in some people or some things. We looked up to the churches in this community for a very long time that when there was an injustice in the city of Detroit and something was going wrong, we looked up for the churches to stand up and speak out and possibly lead in the charge. I know there are some that would go sideways or go the wrong ways at times, but there were some that we could count on to stand up and show up and stand up. As time went on, our churches got quieter and quieter and quieter. The first instance that I could remember was Governor Engler made the announcement that I am not going to give the revenue sharing to the city of Detroit as was always done, and have the mayor of the city of Detroit in control of that revenue. I'm going to give that money to the churches. As time went on, I remember another program where properties that were tax foreclosed would go back to the city of Detroit. Then came from a governor that we're going to give those properties to the churches and nonprofits in the city of Detroit. In my mind, that was a divide and conquer. I can't remember a church or a nonprofit standing up saying, nope, it always went to the mayor, and if I take some of those properties, you have been able to divide and conquer. So in that sense, the churches lost credibility. They allowed the governor to divide us, and after that, it was thing after thing after thing. And another instance, Sharon McPhail, I always loved her dearly and had great hopes for her. Sharon McPhail went to, when the schools were being taken over, Sharon McPhail, George Washington, John Royal, and some others fought that battle. We went to, I think it was Cincinnati, the Court of Appeals, and we fought that and appealed it, but it didn't turn out the way that we wanted it to turn out. So Sharon had great credibility with me. Once she got to charter school, I think that's the last straw for me. I feel that anyone who has a charter school participated in the destruction of the Detroit public school system. It matters not to me that you could say that the school system was torn up already, and I just wanted to save some of the children. No credibility. Any minister who took a contract from Detroit Public Schools, you could say that you were providing a service to the children by transporting that food from the catering, from the airplane or the truck or whatever it was that brought that food in that had been prepared 2 days before. You can say that you were providing a service to the children by getting that food from the truck to the school to the lunchroom. But what you were transporting was rotten food. You and your people were driving a truck with stinking, rotten, maggot-infested food, taking it over to the children that they ate for lunch or whatever it was. They could have been hungry, you know. Our kids go to school hungry sometime, and that may be the only meal that they get for a day. So whatever is put before them is possibly gobbled right up. We had reports of children being sick, up chucking the lunch, refusing to eat the lunch, stomach aches, diarrhea. But what you did is you provided a service, you had a contract, you got paid, and you have no credibility. Now, there are some from time to time who will say, oh, you always do some good in the community. You always do some good in the community. Every once in a while, something will come along and say, for instance, some children are provided with a summer job. And they're grateful for all time in their life. But they can't add up the fact that that money came from the federal government, came from taxpayers, came from government debt. And what you did is you paid yourself, you paid yourself. Yep, you felt you deserved some of that money. You paid your family, your friends, and your girlfriends or whatever. They all got in front of the line before the children who you gave that summer job. You got enough money out of that grant to buy a Jag, Rolls Royce, send your kids to college, move out of the city of Detroit, take vacations. You have no credibility. The people have lost faith in you. They don't trust you anymore. So when you mistreat people that way, possibly they come to feel that they have no value. There in turn, they have no hope. And we can go through instance after instance after instance where a person in the community come before us, pledge their alliance, turn around and do what I call backstabbing on us. We are loving, forgiving, and we always want to give them another chance. Just give them another chance. But as time go on, the people lose their hope and you lose your credibility. That's bad. So now I'm going to turn to the people out in the audience about sacrifice. We often do not make the sacrifice to help other people for whatever reason. And I actually don't think that you're too poor, too sick, or too whatever to make a sacrifice to help somebody else sometime. You can do it. You can make a sacrifice and help somebody do something sometime. For instance, one of my pets today is all of the people in my area who are losing their homes to property taxes. Somehow or some way, I feel that we can make a sacrifice. We can do something to help these people if it's on an individual basis or if it's on a group basis. We can find out who is in danger of losing their property. They didn't pay the taxes. For whatever reason, they didn't pay it. But when these people are homeless, when they get to be homeless and they're living amongst us, it's not good. So we can do whatever. If it's just one person that you know of whose property is up for tax sale, the total bill sure could be $5,000 for 3 or 4 years. But the only year that's important right now is 2013. If we can find a way to help a person to pay that 2013 year, there's a possibility that there are some avenues that that person can still take or could have taken to get out of the situation that they're in. But my thinking on that is that once the taxes get 3 or 4 years behind, that person is paralyzed. They can't see their way out of that situation that they're in, and they just don't feel that there's anything that they could do. So if a person has a 2013, that's only 1 year, but there are 3 more years, maybe 2 or 3 more years added on to that. It could be anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000, and in some cases, depending on where they live, more. But I think the people who are in the property that have less value on it are in more dire straits than someone who has a $12,000 a year tax bill. So if a 2013 tax is the one that's really in jeopardy and it's $900 or $1,200, there's got to be some way in our community that we could help that person and give them a chance to be able to save their property. So be it a rent party, a fish fry, or a sugar daddy, or somebody who has a whole lot of money stuck someplace, there's got to be some way to help these people. So I've did my talking this morning. The phone number is 868-0342, 868-0351, 868-4336. And if you want to come in and talk about why we feel like we have no value, sacrifice, credibility, you can come on in and talk about those things. And one of the person I don't think I've heard from is there was always a garden lady in the audience. So if the garden lady is out there, I can be reached at 874-2792. Just would like to hear your voice. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Miss Hitchcock.
Good morning, Miss Eastside. How are you today?
Oh, and I feel a little better today. I'm so glad you are talking to the people about we need to help each other out and do things for the people in the city of Detroit, because there is a lot of people that taxes are backed up and they need help. But we all need help in the city of Detroit, because some of the people in the city of Detroit are being paid off to vote against their own race of people and to take things away from them that belong in their community. And I just want to say this one thing first. Sunday, I said the wrong thing because somebody was calling me up asking me would I put something on television when I talked to you. So instead of me saying I've been voting 62 years, I said I was voting 68 years. That's not true.
Oh, that would make you 100 years old.
I was 18 years old.
Yeah.
And that was in 62 years. I don't mind living a long time, but I just want to be honest about the thing. I started voting, and actually I voted for 62 years because I started voting when I was 18 years old. But I just want the people to know, if we don't wake up and come together, like they took Belle Isle from us, and they've taken everything, the Northwest Activity Center, and I'm ashamed to even say this. They had money that they had for the people, for the recreation centers in the city of Detroit. The East Side didn't get a penny. They were supposed to give so much to Northwest Activity Center, and they gave them all the money, so they tore down our recreation center. They tore down everything on the east side of Detroit, so the people over here don't have any place to go to.
So what that fits into that the people in that area have no value.
No.
That The people who we expected to look out for the interests of the people who put them into office, those people have no credibility because they failed to do what it was that we put them into office for.
That's right.
So that fits right into no value, the community having no value, the people feeling that they have no value because their communities are not taken care of. So those are the things that we have to get past that.
Well, if it's people like you in the city of Detroit, anybody that's like Agnes Hitchcock that will fight for the people, get out of her house and go out into the street, and these people can't get up and come to these things and help out in the city. There's something wrong with the city of Detroit. And I've been here all of my life. I've never known the city of Detroit to be like this. They gave Brewster Center away, so the rich people would be going there after a while. And Roosevelt built that place for the people in the city of Detroit, black people and everybody else, to go to that center. But right now, they're building it up, fixing it up, so when they get ready to have parties and stuff downtown, that's where they're going to use Brewster Center. And you know what? People don't care about that. They only care about the money that's going in their pockets and not helping our children out of school or anything. Russell School is a loss now.
And that part right
school.
There is credibility. The people who were supposed to serve in the interests of the people in your community lost their credibility because they have not done what you expected them to do, what they said they would do, and what they should do.
Well, my
community, while you're still on the line, let me get this in.
Okay.
So, credibility. When a person stands up and says things that influence you because you believe in them, to follow them. So, when they turn out to not do what they said they do, if you continue to follow that person, continue to lift that person up, if you continue to support them, you lose your credibility. Can you see that?
Yes.
You lose your credibility. So when you stand up and if you stand up and say, oh, that person there on city council, that person is really nice because you should support her because she's doing something that personally benefits me, when all the time you know that that person has been going sideways on every other issue, and you stand up and support that person, that means that the person who you're supporting has no credibility, and at the same time, because you support that person, you have no credibility.
That's true.
So anybody who's in power or listening to that situation, when they see you standing up behind that person who they know is a slug, that discredits the issue that you say you support. So if there's someone in your neighborhood, we'll use the name Alberta Tinsley to lobby.
Oh, don't use that.
I'll just use that as an example. Over on the east side that she represented for so long, it looks like Beirut.
Thank you.
She's doing pretty good, isn't she?
Oh, yes.
Does she still live over there?
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Okay. So
but she uses the address on Pennsylvania, but she doesn't live there.
Okay. So what I'm saying is she represented that area, and it's gone, and it's had a hard time. So she has no credibility. So whoever is still supporting her in whatever it is that she does discredits themselves, because anybody who's in control of the money know that she could be bought for a couple of coins, and that the people that are supporting her can get 1/8 of one of them coins, and they are not looking out for anybody but themselves.
That's
so
true.
that leaves the community at the mercy of those kind of people.
Well, I want to thank you for taking my call, and I hope you keep up the work that you're doing and helping the people, all these people in the city of Detroit, and they should get up. I don't care if you're old, young, or whatever, and help us fight to get our city back like it was, to help the people in these communities and put our children in schools that they need to be in, public schools, what we have paid for all these years. Because if you don't, they're going to put us out of the city of Detroit. And all the people that's going behind Duggan and all these people, y'all better wake up, because we won't be in the city of Detroit too much longer. So you better wake up. And Ms. Hitchcock, thank you for everything that you're doing for the people in the city of Detroit. You keep up the good work.
All right.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Maybe we can talk them to death. Well, we don't want to talk them to death. But maybe we could, it appears that we talk about it. I'm guilty. Oftentimes I really don't want to talk anymore. But we talk about it, and nothing happens. We definitely do not want to use any violence in order to make things better for us. But there are other ways. We can't vote them out. We don't want to use violence. But I believe that there are ways that we can stop them from making money. I'm not asking you to boycott, because I know that's an inconvenience. You don't want to go 2 stores over to buy what it is that you need. So I don't believe people are ready for sacrifice. They don't want to sacrifice just being able to go to the corner store. They don't ask me to go 2 blocks over to a store. So boycott appears to be an out. But there are other ways, lazy ways, if you could put yourself at risk. There is traffic flowing in and out of the city of Detroit, where people from outside come into the city, and I'm just going to exaggerate a little bit. They come in with bushel baskets because we got money. They come in every day and go back out and come back in, and a couple of times a month, they take a paycheck out of here. Actually, they don't even have to carry the money out physically anymore. It's probably shipped directly to their bank. The traffic on Woodward Avenue, the traffic on John Lodge Expressway, Chrysler Freeway, Ford Freeway, that traffic, if it can't get to the financial district in the city of Detroit, that's a disruption. And if we can hold on to something like that long enough, we can make somebody listen to us. The teachers, if they strike and just refuse to go back to school and don't choke. If we can just make the sacrifice to hold out until somebody else is uncomfortable besides us, maybe we could get some results. But we can't have people representing us who have no credibility. We can't do it. We cannot do it. Good morning, Carly, on the air.
Hey, good morning, Agnes.
Good morning.
I just want to, let me get this off right now. Watch Mike Duggan and James Craig.
And who?
Appointing him as James Craig.
Okay.
Him appointing him as deputy mayor is not by coincidence. He's going to try to give James Craig the mayoral race without James having to even run for it. So for that, Mike, you dirty. You dirty. And we ain't having no remnant from emergency management being our mayor or even being our deputy mayor. What I don't understand about these pro-democracy people, you're supposed to be pro-democracy, Mayor Duggan, but yet everything about you says dictatorship. James Craig came from dictatorship. He's a remnant of what Detroit never wanted. He's a remnant of the lie that they concocted to get him here. Yet the citizens are not mad about this? Y'all don't see the overlay for the underlay? That you're going to see Mike Duggan disappear somewhere and James Craig, who has only 5% policing experience. Look at his record. I Googled his record from his job in Cincinnati to his job in L.A., and this man has no more, Agnes, in the viewing audience, of 15%, if that much, of policing. And when you ask him about it, he, in his interviews, he just blankly said that I don't need to take a test for something I already know. This is not nobody you want to be your deputy mayor. This is someone you don't want your mayor even in cahoots with.
Now, see?
And shame on you who back him up on this decision.
That's one of the same things. Now, here's a comparison to that. He's the police chief. 5% experience, you say. And he's a remnant of something that we really don't want. But Duggan can appoint him as police chief. Doesn't matter about democracy, doesn't matter about rules, it doesn't matter about anything. We have no value, so anything it is anybody choose to do to the people in the city of Detroit, it happens. Often, we challenge everything, but we never come out with the win. So I just want to flip to the other side over there, to Sharon McPhail.
Mm-hmm.
She has a school. She's has a lot of, children coming to her school. She doesn't have educational credentials, but she has a school. So now she's under state investigation, I believe, for having a school and not having credentials. She changed her title in order to facilitate having a school. So she's doing everything she can to get herself in line to be acceptable for having a charter school. Over here on the other side, James Craig, any obstacle or anything or any complaint that you can come up with can be brushed aside because that's the way that someone wants it to go.
And see, that should have the citizens in the teeth. They waiting on Mike Duggan to do something stupid to them instead of looking at the little stupid steps he's taking now to confound you. I will be harping on this from my blog to anywhere that James Craig is not fit to lead this city in the capacity as deputy mayor or mayor. And I don't know what Mike Duggan is trying to pull with that appointment, but I hope they listening and there's people listening that we caught that. We caught what you're trying to do. And if you don't get rid of that remnant from emergency management, then you're going to have a fight on your hands with the ground people who really didn't want him as police chief. They still can't show me one thing, and I'm not against James Craig. Let me just put that out there. What I'm against is a black man who come from the experience of the civil rights era, who comes from all of that, yet took a job that overrode your people.
But
to any of y'all who took them jobs from Kevin Orr,
they could not have
to Detroit.
They could not have done any of the things that have transpired or taken place in the city of Detroit without having someone from our community get up front, regardless of whether it was Joyce Hayes Giles, regardless of whether it was Wendell Anthony, or whether it was a black minister or a black politician or whatever. They could not have done the devastation in the city of Detroit without help and assistance from someone in our community. So, they even go in.
They can punk Charles P. See, they knew they can punk him, and I'm probably the only person who would say that, Agnes.
Say what?
They knew we had a punk at the helm of our city council, and they pounced on that punk.
They used Charles Pugh, and they knew he was a pedophile before he was elected, and he was dumb enough to think that he could get on city council and
thank JL,
do anything.
Thank Coco, thank that comedian Coco and them. These are the silly black women of our city who upheld Charles Pugh with that Mildred fattest woman. These silly black women who parade these wannabe women. They paraded Charles Pugh.
Well,
they told other people to vote for Charles Pugh because he's one of us, and he's all on the radio snapping and switching and talking like a woman. This is the Charles Pugh's election was because of silly black women like Coco and them, who have that kind of, who have the power to influence, but they swung their influence towards Charles Pugh. And look at what he, not only was he a pedophile, but his only mark of being a councilman will be that he brought the gay pride fest from Ferndale to Hart Plaza. That's his legacy. And of me and him giving up our city. A real man wouldn't have never done that, Agnes. A real straight-up, stand-up brother would have never let the state punk him in the way that Charles Pugh allowed them to punk him. Chantel Jenkins, Stinking Jenkins, is another one of them sellouts. Gary Brown is another one of them sellouts. Y'all felt sorry for Gary Brown because of I don't know why y'all felt sorry for him.
Whoever felt sorry for Gary? Gary Brown has, he has a pension from the police department. He has a pension from city council. How many more positions did he have? Then there's the nonprofits and the board of directors that he sit on. There is no reason to feel sorry for Gary Brown. Gary Brown is doing good, and he is not in the neighborhood anymore.
He's doing good to be a quitter. Him and Chantel Jenkins is
doing
something
good.
How they can screw the city, then go off to some lofty, private, comfortable job. I see what Chantel Jenkins got for screwing our city over. She got the head position at Thor. That was her little Illuminati gift for selling y'all out. And then what was Gary Brown's luminous gift for selling y'all out? He will become the chief financial officer or something in that arena.
Same thing with Charles Beckham. But
yep, don't forget.
So those things fit into credibility. If anybody supports any of those people, if anybody in the listening audience, I don't care where you are, if you support those people, you lose credibility because the person who's controlling them know that they are not good for anything except, what do you call that, a paper man or something like that, just a figurehead to use to destroy and dismantle the city of Detroit. Okay, my brother, we're going to let somebody else come in, okay?
Thank you for taking my call, Agnes.
And thanks for calling. Hi, caller, on the air.
Good morning, Agnes.
Good morning.
I'm 62, so I think I can call you by your first name, but no disrespect. But you're 100% right. This thing actually started with Dennis Archer and the state takeover.
Absolutely.
And you're right. And you're right when you say that without the consent agreement, without the emergency manager, none of the things that they've done, including the bankruptcy, could have transpired. This governor, if he had showed the world nothing else, he had showed the world that I must put the black man down in order to get where I'm going. And when I look back in history, I see he's done that since 1865. Not him, but Europeans have done that all over this country, including the city of Detroit. In order for them to make what they want to happen, you must be destroyed to make it happen.
You know what?
And that's what they have done.
And that could be true, but they don't get anything of that much for the destruction that they cause, that they participate in. They don't get that much. They don't get anything to last, except from the immediate moment. We like to talk about that 17 pounds of sausage that Kay Everett was supposedly took. And I'm sure she got some money along the way and some other things. But what she got, the sausage, you eat it, you pass it, and that's it. You flush it. So whatever monetary or value, whatever she got, probably went as fast as the sausage. And the devastation that she did in the city of Detroit with her votes and her rhetoric is going to last forever.
When you look at the police chief and you look at the mayor, when you look at the governor, I've read a book and I've seen it on TV. These positions were called mercenary positions. A mercenary is a person who will come in and do a job and then he'll leave. That's what has happened here in the city of Detroit. The governor is not from the city. He's a mercenary.
The mayor?
The mayor is not from the city. He's a mercenary. The chief of police who keep the brothers in the city in line, he's not from the city of Detroit. He's a mercenary.
And much
and
of the
all of these
administration
people who
and
have
staff.
come in and done this damage, they eventually leave out or move out to the suburbs. Every single one of them. What I'm saying on count day in reference to DPS is the first day is you should hold your kids from going to school. Don't sit on the school on the count day.
That's sacrifice. That's something right there. That is sacrifice. To hold your children out of school on count day and make DPS lose funding.
That's right.
Which gives you some clout is making a self-sacrifice. To keep your children out of school, you're going to have to miss a day off work. You may have to make arrangements for someone else to babysit them. Those are some of the things that you would do in order to inflict some pain on the people who are causing you a great deal of pain and miseducating your children. You make the sacrifice, that's self-sacrifice for 1 or 2 days. Count day is only 1 day. But you'll let them tell you that if you send your kid to school, they tell your child, you'll have a chance of winning a bicycle. It's only one bicycle. And the chance of that child winning that bicycle could be like 1, 2, or 3% or something like that. Sure, they're going to get some pizza on count day. But you need to make that self-sacrifice and talk to your child about count day and keep them out of school. Don't just keep your child out of school. Tell your friend who has a child in Detroit school. And you make a network and inflict some pain on somebody else. Don't you take all of the pain all the time.
Yeah, I would keep them out, not just count day. I would keep them out the day before count day, and the day after count day.
Okay.
This is sickening. They're trying to split the school system up. But thanks for taking my call, Miss Agnes.
All right, and thanks for calling. Hi, caller, on the air.
Good morning, Miss Agnes. How you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you.
You know, can we say, these rent-to-own Negroes that been running this city for 30 years and conducting the berserker that they put us in, for one of them I like to call out is Gary Brown. I cannot figure out for the life of me, how do you sue the city of Detroit, get paid, and get these many jobs that you keep getting? I just can't get with that. So my whole thing, I just want to, what we need to do as the people in the city of Detroit, not only keep our kids out of school, let's shut the casino down. Shut the casino down. When they had a little ball playing down there on Woodward, that blocked where you can't get down on Woodward.
Well, if the
we do that?
If the main arteries into the city were somehow not available to the people, they couldn't get to the casinos. They couldn't get to the jobs in the city of Detroit. But it takes courage and self-sacrifice.
Well, I tell you what, it's getting late in the day. Maybe it's time for us to get up off our butt and do what we need to do. And thank you for being the person that you are. I love you. Have a great day.
All right, thank you. Hi, caller, you're the last one.
Good morning, Queen.
Good morning.
I'd have to say this. A lot of this bears on all of us.
Absolutely.
Especially, and we have to look at those of us who claim to believe in God, to believe in the book, and yet we're sitting back crying. Where is our true belief in God? And our spiritual leaders who's supposed to lead the fight, they're not where they at or whatever. Thus, said the Lord. And we're not doing it. We are people that sit back, and we are really, real cowardly, really. because
if you support
we shouldn't
them,
be in the condition that we are in. It's our fault.
if you support them, you follow them, you go to their church, if you give them your money, if you make a donation for anniversary day, you are supporting them. And when they go see the person who's controlling them, they say, look, I had 350 people at my prayer breakfast. I got clout. They count you and use you as a head, and it doesn't much matter because they're only being used, and the person who's manipulating them, they really don't care about the numbers, but, they're just doing you that little courtesy for having that, that minister who's your leader in their
and you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right what you're saying, Queen. And that's my whole point about there were three things in the 1700s that white people said they would never teach the Negro. That was the science of mating, that was the science of business, and it was the science of warfare. We are at war, and we don't have a future until we learn how to fight this war, whatever. And we hollering about the school system. They're not ours, no way. We cannot allow our enemies to teach our children. If a man won't treat you right, he will not teach you right. And that's the bottom line. We make up excuses. We get over $1.some trillion in our hands. So there's no reason for us to be in the condition what it is. It's our division and our self-hatred that's our biggest problem or whatever.
Okay.
These people understand they all work for the system, Queen. And it's not going to change until we make a change.
All right.
And you're not going to take these positions and sell us out and get away with it tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you for your call.
Have a blessed day, Queen.
Thank you. Okay, caller, you're the last one.
This is Beverly. We're not conceding any power. You're a foot soldier. I'm a foot soldier.
All right. Thank you.
God bless.
All right. Wow. Once again, this is the J.D. Hill Morning Show. My name is Agnes Hitchcock, and I just want to thank J.D. for giving me the opportunity to come in and speak to you this morning. When I'm not on the air, you can reach me at 874-2792. 874-2792. And once again, I want to put a call out for Khaled and Janetta. Where's Khaled and Janetta? And the garden lady. Where is the garden lady? And I just wanted to talk about those things this morning. I wanted to talk about, us feeling that we have no value. That anything somebody do to us, we have to take it. We don't have to take it. We need to inflict pain back on the same people that inflict pain on us. No guns. That's not what it takes. Prevent them from being able to get to that money, and we might be able to get some respect. But as long as we're doing things the same way that we've done them, talking about a boycott, talking about what somebody did to us, you get no respect. So we need to think about that value, credibility, and self-sacrifice. I have enjoyed myself this morning. Thanks to J.D. Hill, WHPR TV 33, Comcast 91. And if J.D. and the Lord are willing, I'll be back here next Tuesday at 8 o'clock in the morning. It was my pleasure. Thank you.
Lord, I'm just sitting here looking over my life, Lord. Let me take inventory. Can I take it? Can I take it?